from my side and let me share the screen. Fine, clear guys? Is it clear or not? Okay. So here, if Srinath wants to log into this Windows machine, forget about SQL Server as of now. Okay. If Srinath wants to log into this Windows machine, okay. So Srinath account should be created in the Windows level first. Then only Srinath can jump into this Windows machine. From there, he can open SSMS. Once he open SSMS, automatically he can see computer name / Srinath here. Is it clear or not? This is very important point, guys. Is it clear or not?
Clear, sir.
Clear, right? No issues, right? Fine. Okay, so imagine this is Srinath. Okay, Srinath account should be created in the, this is the whole Windows machine. In the Windows machine, Srinath account should be created in the machine first. That account is called, usually we'll call it as a Windows user account. Okay, if you create any users in the Windows level, that is Windows user. We can create a Windows login, okay, for the existing Windows user only. Okay, we can create two types of logins, right? Windows login and SQL login. When we can create Windows login, we can create Windows login for the existing Windows user only. Either that user might be there in the Windows machine, or that user might be there in the Active Directory. As of now, forget about Active Directory, so we'll discuss only Windows level. Okay, later you will get the clarity. Right. So if I want to create this Srinath, if I want to give access to Srinath to the SQL server, first of all, I have to create Srinath Windows login in the SQL server. When I can create Srinath Windows login, if I have Srinath Windows user in the Windows level, then I can create a Windows login for Srinath, right? Clear? Fine. Up to now, this is fine. Okay, right. So now Srinath is having access to SQL server. He can connect to SQL server. Srinath can connect to SQL server. Right. Now can Srinath connect to the database? By default, a Windows login or a SQL login can connect to any database. I just created a login for Srinath. Now the question is, Srinath can connect to the SQL server now. But my question is, Srinath can connect to any database? Srinath can access any database or not?
No.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Right. Very good. Okay. So by default, if you create any login, he can connect to SQL server, but he cannot access any database. If he want to access the database, he should have more permissions. Remember, okay, if you are a member of Google or Gmail account, are you going to access all the services from Gmail?
No, sir.
No, right? You have limited services, like you can use only up to 15 GB space storage. If you want more than 15 GB, again you have to buy it. That means indirectly they are giving limited access on Gmail account for you. You cannot use all the features of Gmail. Why? Yours is a free account, so that's why you cannot use all the features of Gmail. So if you create login for Srinath in the SQL server, that doesn't mean Srinath can access all the databases. By default, he cannot access the databases. If Srinath wants to access this database, again he should have extra permissions. Okay, again he should have extra permissions. So remember guys, this is a login. Okay, imagine Srinath is having access on this database. Okay, now Srinath is having access on this database. Now Srinath can access the database. Okay, right. Srinath can access the database now. But, okay, just 1 minute. Right. Okay, now Srinath can access the database. This is called Windows login, right? Login. Okay. So if Srinath is having access on this database, imagine this is a Amazon database. Imagine Amazon sales database. Right. So if imagine I gave access to Srinath on this database, Amazon sales database. Whenever you gave access to Srinath on Amazon sales database, okay, a user will be created in the sales database. Okay, let me go with okay, let me go with this one. Okay, so for Srinath, a user called Srinath again with the same name user will be created in the database. Okay, remember, with the same name a user will be created in the database. Okay, on behalf of this Srinath login, this Srinath user is going to work on behalf of this Srinath login. Means this Srinath login wants to pull the data from this Amazon sales database. Remember guys, Srinath cannot directly enter into the database. A Srinath login. Okay. Srinath means login cannot directly enter into the database. But who can read the data? On behalf of this login, a user will be created in the database. So on behalf of login, this user is going to help to Srinath login to pull the data. If this Srinath login wants to read the data from this database, if Srinath wants to write the data to this database on behalf of this Windows login, okay, on behalf of this Windows login, once you gave access to Srinath login on database, Srinath user will be created in the database. So on behalf of this Windows login, this Srinath user is going to help to the Srinath login. Clear guys? And login cannot enter into the database directly. On behalf of login, on behalf of logins, a user will be created once you gave access to the database for that particular user. Okay, remember, very important topic guys, very important topic. Nothing is there, I'm just elaborating the things, that's it. Okay, a login can never enter into the database. On behalf of that login, a user is going to be created once you gave access. A user is going to be created on behalf of this Windows login with the same name. Again, that username is also Srinath only. So you have to remember one hierarchy here. Okay, like this is a child, this is a parent for this child, and this is the parent for this child, means grandfather, father, child. This relationship will be there for Windows login. If anyone deleted any login, if anyone deleted this Windows, this database user, Srinath cannot access the database. If anyone deleted this Windows login, Srinath cannot connect to a SQL server. If anyone deleted this Windows level user or Active Directory level user, again Srinath cannot connect to the SQL server. Clear guys? Clear or not? Let me know.
Yeah, clear. And while creating the user and login only, then we need to give all the permissions, or
No.
we need to
You can create a log. Why? Because see, depends upon your requirements. We are going to give access. Say for example, now you just joined as a fresher. Imagine fresher permissions are different. After 6 months, okay, you are doing good work. Then I am going to give you extra permissions. Then I can give extra permissions later. So it's not compulsory that while creating only I have to give all the permissions. Nothing. At any moment I can alter your permissions. I can add permissions, I can delete permissions for you at any moment. Okay. While creating, no need to give single permission also. Later, whenever I want, I can give permissions. Okay. Any questions, guys? Any doubts? Is it clear?
And sir,
Yes.
in Windows you have two user accounts. Two are both are administrative accounts. So in the SQL Server, we have both accounts in both logins in SQL Server.
See, it's not
Both
compulsory
accounts are in
that.
SQL Server.
See, 1 minute, okay? It's not compulsory that all Windows users will have access to SQL Server. A lot of Windows users will be there. Windows people also part of Windows users. Why? Because they want to access the Windows machine for patching purpose, for troubleshooting purpose, for expansion of disks and all. That doesn't mean that they can connect to my SQL Server. Who can connect to my SQL Server?
Only
Who
SQL
have
user.
access to Go SQL Server?
Yes. Okay, even though I have 100 accounts in the Windows machine, imagine in this screen I have 100 accounts. Okay, in this screen 100 accounts are there, but only 10 accounts I just created Windows login. Those 10 people only can connect to my SQL Server. Don't think all people of Windows users. That is the main difference you have to understand here. Not all people of Windows users can access my SQL Server. What is the condition? Windows user should be there. For them, I have to create a Windows login in the SQL Server. I have to give permission. Then only they can connect to my SQL Server or databases.
Yeah. Got it, sir. But my intention is if one window ఒక విండోస్ సర్వర్ ఒక డిలీట్ చేస్తే ఎవరైనా విండోస్ సర్వర్ మనం బ్లాక్ చేస్తే అప్పుడు అగైన్ SQL సర్వర్ నుంచి లాగిన్ అవుతారా లేదా అనే డౌట్ సార్.
Did not get your question. If
గ్రాండ్ ఫాదర్ అని
yes,
అని చెప్పారు కదా సార్. సో గ్రాండ్ ఫాదర్ స్కిప్ అయితే
I already told you the answer for that. I have already told you the answer for that. What is the answer,
Yeah.
guys? What is the answer? If anyone is deleted at any level, can he connect to the SQL Server?
No,
No, sir.
they
No.
can't access
No,
because here
if user is deleted, this login will be there. You can connect to SQL Server, but as user is not there in the database, you cannot access the database. If login is deleted, you cannot connect to the SQL Server itself. If this user is also deleted, you cannot RDP to the Windows machine itself. Right? RDP means what? Remote desktop, like connecting like this. Okay, so connecting like this is called RDP. Clear, guys? So at any moment, if anyone is deleted, he cannot access the server. Clear? The basic important thing is a a user will be created on behalf of login, either for SQL login or Windows login. The concept is same. Okay, concept is same for both SQL login and Windows login. Only difference is for Windows login, a user account should be created either in the Windows level or Active Directory level. For SQL login, no need to create any Windows users. Okay, no need to create any Windows users in the Windows machine, or of course they are members of Active Directory, but no need to create any Windows users in the Windows machine. Okay, they can directly create it as a SQL login and we can give access on the database. Again, for this also, okay, if this person wants to access this database, again for him also we have to give permissions on this database. Then only he can connect to my database. Until then he cannot connect to my database. Same concept for SQL login also. There is no different concept for SQL. The only difference is SQL login won't be existed in the Windows level. That's it. Okay, so the only difference is this is my SQL login, right? Again, if this login wants to access this database, Amazon sales database, when I gave access to this login on this database, you imagine this is Anjaneyulu. Okay, so this is Anjaneyulu, and this Anjaneyulu is a SQL login. Anjaneyulu, imagine Anjaneyulu is a developer. So this developer wants to connect to this Amazon sales database. Now I can directly create login for Anjaneyulu. There is no prerequisite for him. I can create. There is no, even though he's not a member of Active Directory, of course, but by default, Anjaneyulu is an employee. So of course, he's a member of Active Directory. But for creating SQL logins, nothing is mandatory. You can directly create a SQL login, even though Anjaneyulu is there or not in the organization. Still, you can create a login for Anjaneyulu with the name of Anjaneyulu. Okay, for Windows user, it won't work like that. You have to create Windows level user or Active Directory level user. Then only you can create Windows login in the SQL server. But for SQL login, there is no prerequisite. You can directly create a SQL login even though that user is there or not in the organization. But usually users will be there. Okay, I'm not saying, okay, don't think in that way, but people will be there. For them, we'll create a SQL logins, but there is no prerequisites for them. Okay, so if this SQL login also wants to access this Amazon sales database, okay, once I gave access to Anjaneyulu on this Amazon sales database, a small Anjaneyulu will be created in the database. Okay, small Anjaneyulu will be created in the database. That small Anjaneyulu is called Anjaneyulu user. So the users that are part of the databases, usually we are going to call them as users. Okay, this is Anjaneyulu login, this is Anjaneyulu user. This is Srinath login, this is Srinath user. So the entities that are part of the database is called user. The security entities that are part of the database is called users. The same security entities that are part of the SQL server is called logins. Okay, so that is the difference between a login and a user. And of course, this is also Windows user. This is Windows user and this is database level user. Don't confuse, guys. Okay, this is Windows user and this is database level user. SQL user, if I want to say clearly, this is SQL user. This is Windows user and this is SQL user. Okay, just 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. Hello. Okay, fine. So you know the difference between a user and a login right now. Is it clear, guys? Everyone?
Yeah, Shan.
Okay, so if this login wants to access this database, what should be there?
User.
User should be there. What type of user?
Yes, sir.
SQL user should be there in the database. Okay, right? So now I have a question for all of you. How many maximum users I can create for a single login?
32,760.
2,767.
Yes, sir.
Why 32,767?
765.
No problem.
Last
765, 767, that's not an issue. Okay, why 32,000 plus?
Because last time you told us it's object will be created, database will be created, max limit 32,767. That's what we get.
Okay. So here, remember guys, for every login, I can create only one user per database. Okay. For every login, I can create one user per database. For every login, I am not saying only one user per database. For every login, for Srinath login, I can create only one Srinath per database. Like that, if I create 32,000 databases, okay, if I gave access to Srinath on all the databases, so 32,767 Srinaths will be created in each data. Means per database, one Srinath. So overall SQL Server level, 32,767 databases, right? So for one database, one Srinath means 32,767 databases, you can create 32,767 Srinaths. Okay, so for one login, the maximum users are 32,767. Remember, for one login, the maximum users are 32,767. How many maximum logins I can create in SQL Server? Logins, not users. How many maximum logins I can create in SQL Server?
Login also same, sir. 32,760.
Okay, so for that also same answer. I can create 32,767 logins. Max logins 32,767 logins I can create for SQL Server. Okay, for one login I can create 32,767 users. Right? Clear, guys? Main thing is you have to understand this architecture. Okay, for each login a user should be there in the database level, then only he can connect. Okay, and this rule won't applicable for sysadmin login. If Srinath, if I gave Srinath as a sysadmin, okay, if I gave sysadmin permissions for Srinath, okay, there is a default user called DBO in each database. Okay, so again, no Srinath will be created in each data, but user should be there, even though Srinath is a sysadmin. Okay, sysadmin means he can do everything in the SQL Server. Even though Srinath is a sysadmin, if he wants to access any data from the database, if he is not a sysadmin, Srinath user should be there. If he is a sysadmin, on behalf of Srinath, by default, DBO user will be there, DBO owner, DBO user will be there. That DBO user will take care of it. This concept, whatever user Srinath user is there, right? This concept, the concept is same, guys. Nothing is there. But if Srinath is sysadmin, if Anjaneyulu is sysadmin, again, it won't create another Anjaneyulu or another Srinath in the database. If they are sysadmins, already DBO user will be there. DBO user will help for all the sysadmins. DBO is the default user for each database, right? So whatever things we have discussed now, every point is clear. The only change is if the login is sysadmin, no user will be created, no extra user will be created for that login. But as discussed, that even though it is a sysadmin, it cannot directly access the database. So in the database, there is one user called DBO. The DBO will help this sysadmins to access the data and all. Okay, if you want to see, you can see, go to any database. Okay, let me connect and go to any database. There are two securities in the SQL Server. One is instance level that you can see here under security. Okay, this is instance level security, and one is database level. If you go to any database, again you can see one security under database. If you see here, these are the default users under this database. So users are database level entities. Logins are server level entities. If you go to any database, you can see, okay, any database that security is common and users are common and DBO is common. By default, this DBO will help for the sysadmins. All sysadmins, this DBO is going to help. Clear, guys? Clear? Any issue, any doubt? So let's proceed for creating a login. Can we go now?
Sir, can you repeat one time, sir, that uses
సార్ కొంచెం ఇది
Whatever-
అండర్స్టాండ్ అయిన తర్వాత లాగిన్ ది యూజ్ చేద్దాం సార్, క్రియేట్ చేద్దాం.
That's it. Whatever things I want to discuss, I have discussed already. The next thing is we have to start creating the logins
Sir, can you
only.
repeat?
Okay. Yeah, I'll repeat. Okay. So nothing is this point clear as of now, that users, logins, everything is clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It is clear, right?
That
This
one
point is
cleared,
clear.
sir.
Right. Very good. Okay. So here, if Srinath is sysadmin, as discussed earlier, forget about Srinath, sysadmin and all. Any login wants to connect to the database, user should be there or not. This point is clear or not?
యూజర్ షుడ్ బి దేర్ సార్.
Okay,
Then
user
only
should
we
be
can
there.
connect.
Yeah, very good. Then only we can connect to the database. Very good. Right. So if it is a non-sysadmin, imagine it's not sysadmin. Okay. If it is not part of sysadmin, sysadmin means he's the superpower in the SQL server. He can do whatever he want in the SQL server. System administrator. Sysadmin means system administrator. Okay. He can do anything in the SQL server level. Whatever things we have discussed, the user should be there. User will be created once you create login. Once you give access to the database, a user will be created on behalf of this login, Windows login or SQL login, whatever things, everything is same. But if Srinath is sysadmin, okay, again, if you gave, no need to give access on any database. For Srinath, no need to give access on any database. Why? Because Srinath is sysadmin, he can access all the databases. If Srinath is a sysadmin, Srinath can access all the databases. So again, no need to give access on any database for Srinath. No need to give separately access for any database on Srinath. Srinath can access all the databases. This is point clear. This point clear or not?
Yes.
Okay.
This one clear, sir.
Okay. If Srinath is sysadmin, no need to give access to Srinath on any database. Srinath can access all the databases. Clear, right? Fine. So you may ask, sir, if you only told, right, Srinath wants to connect to any database, he cannot directly connect, right? On behalf of Srinath, someone should be there to help, right? So you are saying if Srinath is sysadmin, no Srinath user will be created in the database level, as he will get access on all the databases automatically. Then how Srinath can access each database, sir? Right? So for them, DBO, database owner, is the default user, will be there to help this sysadmins. No extra Srinath will be created in each database. Okay? For sysadmins only this rule. For sysadmin, okay, what will be there? Extra, automatically this DBO will be there, guys. This DBO is the default user that will come when you install the SQL server. I did not created this DBO, guys. When you install the SQL server, automatically it will come. When you create a database, automatically these defaults users will come. These default users will come. So for helping to Srinath, as Srinath is a sysadmin, Srinath can access all the databases. So you don't create Srinath in each database now. As DBO is already there, sysadmins can take help of DBO user to pull the data from the database. Clear?
Clear, sir.
Clear,
Yes,
guys?
sir.
Everyone?
Yes,
The
sir.
concept is same. If you are a sysadmin, no extra user will be created for you. Sysadmins will take the help of this DBO user. That's it.
Sir, so మనకి ఇక్కడ 2 డేటాబేస్ ఉన్నాయి, బ్యాచ్ 39 అండ్ పేటిఎం.
Yes.
సో ఇప్పుడు అవి 2 కూడా మనకి స్కిన్ అప్ వాట్ ఎవర్ మనకి ఇప్పుడు సిస్అడ్మిన్ విండోస్ యూజర్ లో ఉన్న డేటాబేస్ సార్ అది.
Forget about Windows user and databases. Okay. Windows user is separate, databases are separate.
ఓకే, అయితే ఇప్పుడు ఈ డిఫాల్ట్ యూజర్ DB సార్ అయితే.
Yes, for all the, see, whenever you create one more database, if I create a database with your name, again DB will be created. These are the default entities that will come along with the databases. By default, once you create any new database, automatically it will come. Why it will be there? To help for the sysadmins, it will be there.
ఓకే సార్.
Okay, clear?
ఓకే.
Yeah. Fine. Okay, then what we will do, we'll create, okay, a login, user, whatever we want, whatever we have discussed, we'll try to create, okay, 3 things. One is Windows login, okay. Second thing is SQL login,
SQL login.
and third we have one more concept called group login. Okay.
User
Group
login kada sir?
User login, there is no concept of user login. We'll call them as users. Okay.
Okay,
See,
sir.
don't
Okay, sir.
mix user and login. There is no user login. Okay. Okay. for
Just
this-
we called users.
Yes, and logins. Both are different. Okay. So
Okay.
as discussed, we are going to create a Windows login. Okay. And we'll create a SQL login, this one, and group login. I'll explain about group login. Okay. Why? Because usually if 10 people are there, 10 DBS are there, we don't again create 10 logins in the SQL server. If 100 SQL DBS are there, again creating 100 logins is not good. Okay. Time wise, it's not good. And again, that's not a standard practice. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll create a SQL DBA group. Okay. We'll create a SQL DBA group, and we are simply going to create a group login for that particular group. Group means Windows group only. There is no SQL group. Okay, I'll explain about group login later, but nothing to worry. Tomorrow we'll discuss. So let's create a Windows login and SQL login. First, go with the Windows login. So what should be there if I want to create this Windows login? What should be there?
We have an account in a Windows level.
Very good. Okay, Windows user should be there. Okay, Windows user should be there. Now I want to create a Windows login. So I decided to create a Windows user. So I want to create a Windows user now. As of now, we are creating Windows user in this machine. We don't have Active Directory setup, right? Once we created Active Directory setup, then no need to create users in the Windows level manually. Okay, once you create in the particular Active Directory, that is enough. Okay, I'll explain that also. That architecture also I'll explain. Okay, nothing to worry. So I want to create a Windows login. So that's why I'm creating a Windows user in the Windows machine. So go to Windows machine. This is my Windows machine. I want to create a Windows user. Okay. How can I create a Windows user? Open run, type lusrmgr.msc. lusr means local user, usr means user, mgr means manager. lusrmgr.msc. L means local, usr means user, mgr means manager. Okay, this is the place where we'll create all the Windows users and groups. Okay, Windows level users and groups we are going to create here. Go to user section. As you can see, already administrator is there here and service account is also there here. Let me create one user. As we discussed with the Srinath example, let's go with the Srinath itself. Right click on the white space, select a new user. Then I'm going to type as Srinath. Okay, Srinath. Full name not required, description not required. Give the password for Srinath. Strong password, guys. Minimum 8, 1 caps, 1 small, 1 number. Okay. Confirm password. Okay, user must change password. Again, remember guys, who is going to do this work in the organization? Creating users. DBS won't do. Okay. DBS won't do this activity. Just for the
Windows team, sir.
yes. Just for the explanation, I am going to create all these things, but in the organization, Windows accounts will be created by Windows team only. We don't have access. Okay, right. So if you go to new company, they will give you a default login and default password. Once you entered with the default password, you will get one next screen. What is that? Once you entered a default, even not only SQL Server, Windows Server, forget about it. You got a net banking credentials. You got a default PIN. Once you enter default PIN, immediately next screen, what will be the next screen?
We have to change our
Change the
password,
PIN,
everything.
right? Immediately it will allow us to change the PIN, right? So what is the option here? User must change password. Why? Because for Srinath, I am only created his password. So I know his password. I may misuse his password. So if you check this option, once I gave default password to Srinath, once he gave the default password in the window, immediately he will be routed to give the new password. He has to give, he cannot skip it. So there is no chance of knowing his password now. Why? Because immediately he is going to log in with the default password. Immediately it will ask Srinath to change the password. Srinath will change the password. So I don't know the Srinath password. Okay, so the meeting is going to close now. Let me reopen the meeting again.